Hello and welcome back to Downtown with Teona Brown. I hope everyone's been well, enjoying the summer. I am so pleased to introduce this guest today. We have Mike Baker, who is, so when I think of you, Mike, I think of you as like Marlborough's sweetheart. You know, like the idea of like America's sweetheart.
Yeah.
You pretty much became Marlborough's sweetheart when you tossed your hat into the ring for a mayoral election.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm also familiar with campaigning and all of that. It's not easy.
No.
You did a citywide thing, and that's extremely admirable. And I remember reading a post you had made on social media after the election, and you said you were closing the book. And I'm like, no, you ended a chapter. I think all of us in Marlborough would be really sad if you just, you know, went away silently. So
right.
I'm happy to have you here.
Thank you.
And,
I'm happy to be here.
Thank you.
Thank you for the kind words. It means a lot to me.
No,
it does.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, I think your heart is with Marlborough, and I know our current mayor, Christian, you guys have also become friends since the campaign time.
Yes.
And I think you both have some of the same intentions for the city, community, bringing things together. And for me, that's a big reason I even wanted to do this show. I like bringing up memories that people have. We all have different memories. So have you been here your whole life, born and raised in Marlborough, or did you move here at some point?
Born and raised in Marlborough. I grew up on Howland Street.
Yep.
Right off of Lincoln, right behind it was a Big D.
Yeah,
for a while.
I called it Little D.
And on the other side was the Highland House.
Yep.
So I'm not sure. My generation was really the best generation, I think, from Marlborough, because we got to experience some of the old Marlborough, and now we're still young enough to experience and appreciate some of the new stuff that's coming in. Like, I'm old enough to have done the Lincoln Street Shuffle, and that is if you know what that is.
Oh, I don't know. Prospector, Cozy, Highland House, Birds.
Yeah. So you know, right? And now we're still young enough to go down to the Tackle Box. We were talking about the Tackle Box.
Yeah, Flying Dreams.
Right. Any of the other breweries, and it's different.
Yeah.
But it's still great. I still love Marlborough. You know, I live on Gibbon Street now.
Yeah.
So literally, I live a block away from where I grew up.
Yeah. Nope. Very cool.
Yeah.
And that's because I also grew up here in Marlborough, and my husband grew up here in Marlborough, and I know like you and Janice both from Marlborough.
Oh, yes.
So it's really cool to even just see how many people grew up here and then choose to stay here, raise a family. You have Sophia, one of the WMCT junior reporters. So, you know, that's cool. She's in middle school now, or is she?
She just graduated 8th grade, so she's going up to high school now, and it's really something. She was Donkey in the school play.
Yeah.
And she did such a good job. I was so proud of her for coming out of her comfort zone, and she took it so seriously. I was really proud father.
And Mayor Christian attended.
Yes, he did.
That with you.
And that was the best thing that came out of the mayoral run.
Yeah.
I put a lot of thought into it. It might have seemed like I was kind of going off the cuff, but I was just trying to be me, be the best version of me. And I met some great people, and Christian being one of them. And, you know, now we're friends.
Yeah.
And to have a friend out of it, and that's a great thing.
Yes.
And I've met a lot of great people.
It's a very different thing.
Yeah.
Like, you know, putting yourself out there, it's so vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people are not afraid to tell you a few things about yourself. And, and, you know, sometimes I deserve it. Sometimes I'm just thinking, oh, well, maybe you just need to meet me and talk to me a little more. But no, I love that. And I know with Sophia, I wrote down a couple of notes that, she's involved with youth softball and the drama club at middle school. And so I was actually wondering for you, when you were growing up here in Marlborough, what kind of things were you involved in, whether they were sports, clubs, hangout spots?
So like everybody else, pretty much everybody, I played baseball.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we did back then.
Do you remember what teams you were on?
I was on the Cardinals.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't remember the other one. The first one I can't remember. I was definitely on the Cardinals. We finished second. We made it to the championship game.
Nice.
Lost in the championship games. We played at Hildreth,
Yep.
which is the softball
That's
field
what
now.
my husband tells my son that because Tanner plays Marlborough youth baseball, and they were just the runners up.
And we
as
played
well.
at Williams Field. There was only one field way back then.
Yep.
And they had like a little concession stand. Hildreth didn't have a concession stand.
Yep.
And wow, what they've done with the baseball fields.
And my husband said that you used to be able to sit on top of the concession stand.
Oh, yeah.
And like if you were helping announce the games and stuff like that. So that was a memory that he had from his days back in youth baseball.
It was so fun. And I played football my senior year at high school, where I actually met Janice's brother, Matt.
Okay.
So he was a freshman when I was a senior.
Okay.
And I wasn't by any means a great player or anything like that. But I met some great people.
I bet you had great team spirit, though.
I did. I liked it.
So you were still an important part of the team.
Yeah, I made some memories, and
That's
people remembered me. Like
I was going to say, I bet people do.
Yeah,
do
Matt.
remember you.
Matt, because I had my first date with Janice, and when I found out her last name, I'm like, I played football with Matt Lefebvre. As soon as she asked her brother, I have a different nickname, so he gave me the nickname. Oh yeah, that was me. And
so you didn't mention the nickname, so I'm just going to guess that it might not be like.
No, it was. They used to call me Sacco.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right.
They called me Sacco. I went with it, and it was great.
All
yeah.
right. Well, maybe we'll have to do some research and find out the why. But I love that. And did you go to like boys club at all? I went kind of in that neighborhood.
Yeah, I mean that was right down the road. I went to the boys club a little bit, and I still talk to Dave Roach. He's on Facebook. So some of the older kids that were I wasn't a boys club kid.
Yeah.
But I played basketball a couple of times there in the summer leagues, and I mostly like hung out with the neighborhood kids. We had neighbors across, right behind us, and friends that lived on Witherby Street. So it was, go down to Ward Park, play baseball
I grew up on
all
Newton
day.
Street, so Ward Park, that was my spot too. Where did you go to elementary school?
Bigelow.
Me too.
Yeah, I went to Bigelow. We swam in Bigelow Pool, and sometimes we'd ride our bike to Hildreth or Memorial Beach.
Yep, and so for me, when I think of Bigelow School, I'll always remember the old playground and the metal merry-go-round.
Oh my gosh. What did they let us do back then?
Everything and anything we wanted to. Yeah.
We would like see how fast we could get it and hang off the thing and go flying.
Yeah, with the feet flying in the air. And
they had the real metal slides.
If someone had a really cool dad that would like push it real fast for us. There's always, I bet you're the cool dad who would have done that.
Oh, yes.
And so I want to make sure we touch on some of like just memories of growing up in Marlborough. And so you're a little older than me, not that much older than me. And so we both grew up kind of around the downtown area. I have a lot of memories of different like stores I would kind of pop in and out of. Do you have any places that aren't here anymore that you have fond memories
100%. So when I was a kid, I'm not sure when it stopped, but right across from St. Mary's, right on the corner of Pleasant and West Main.
Candy shop?
Yes, Esther Brooks Candy Store. And Old Man Estabrook was in there. We used to go before school or after school. And it was such like the old-timey candy,
I actually had a friend who lived on Gibbon Street, and I didn't go that way walking home from Bigelow, but she did.
Yeah.
So I would give her money, and she would go and grab me treats, bring them into school the next day.
Oh yeah, it was the old school mom and pop. It
Yep.
was just him. You went in there, you got the candy, and also Delaney's, where everybody went and grabbed their magazines. And my aunt used to buy me the wrestling magazine because I'm a big wrestling fan, and we would go in there, and he had that old school like Pepsi or Coke machine that spit out the bottles.
I used to get Mad magazines there.
Yeah. And Mr. Delaney would yell at you if you were reading the magazines. He'd say, the public library's up the street.
Yep.
Here you buy the magazines.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, those were good memories.
Yeah, and then now, there's not a lot of magazines. Everything's online. You get everything online. You don't need it.
Even when I subscribe to magazines over the last maybe say 10 years, I don't even open them. So now I just don't. It's everything's so accessible online. So yeah, I mean, all the times have changed, but that's why those memories that we have from back in the day, it's important to sometimes just talk about them, reminisce, because it's just not like that anymore.
Yeah.
And then what about different community events? I see all the community events we have now. Is there anything you remember from growing up that you used to love to attend that now it's pretty cool to bring Sophia to? And
the festival after the parade, that's where you went, where you didn't see some friends from the summer, especially when we got up to middle school, it was people from different neighborhoods.
Yeah.
Like Bigelow, it was you had a ward.
Yep.
Like when you go to middle school, you don't see some people for a whole summer. You went to the festival after and you saw everybody. Hey, how was your summer?
And that was down at Ward Park.
Yes.
Yeah, because I know they moved it downtown at one point and then another place. But when it was at Ward Park,
it just didn't work in other places.
No.
It really didn't. And that's sad, but it was, you went to the parade, you went to the festival after.
Yep.
And that was your end of summer. And then you knew summer's over. It's Labor Day. We're going back. I mean, kids now, they go back to school for like a Thursday, and then they have a half day, and then they have Friday off.
Yep.
But we were always after Labor Day.
Yep, after Labor Day for sure.
And God, what a time to be alive.
No, I agree. Whenever I work with a lot of people who are younger, they're in their 20s, and no one ever gets my pop culture references. And so it is like, I feel like we are now finding ourselves at that age where it's like, oh, those whippersnappers don't know what I'm talking about. And
Oh, Teona, I've said it too many times. Like, oh, you don't understand. You don't know how it was.
Oh,
back in my day,
Yeah, it's true. And then becoming parents, and then it's like the things coming out of your mouth sound like the things coming out of their mouths, and you're like, okay. It's all full circle now. I get it. And
we didn't listen, and they won't listen. But like you said, it just goes on and on.
Absolutely.
And now Marlborough's doing it. They really are doing such cool things, like Oktoberfest, the different events.
I love the car show, the food truck festival.
The car show.
Love the food truck festival.
Yeah, and it just brings so many people into Marlborough.
Yeah, the concerts on the Common have always been awesome too, and getting to just kind of get out there and just going out with the family and seeing familiar faces. And that's what always makes me remember that even though we're a city of 40-something thousand, it's still that, like, I know it's not like a tiny country kind of a feeling anymore, but I feel like I run into people I know all the time at events or like out shopping at the grocery store. And that's what kept me here in Marlborough.
Yeah.
I don't know how you feel about that, but that's like, those things are special to me.
Absolutely. And it's a small community.
Yeah.
I mean, it's large, but like you knew Janice.
Yeah.
So we have a connection.
She was at my wedding.
Right. So we have a connection. And, somebody will know you or somebody else will know me.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you know him? And I remember him. And I think you find that all throughout Marlborough.
Yeah.
Like you always know somebody that knows somebody.
Yeah, because I remember when I got married, that was in 2007. You guys weren't together yet at that point, but shortly after that, I think you were, because I remember like hanging out with her, and you guys had just started dating, and yeah.
Oh yeah.
So and I had no idea who you were. Now here we go. See, now we're friends. So I do have a little game I'd like to play, because I do. After we get to chit chat about, memories and all the good stuff, just something lighthearted to end the show with. And you actually already mentioned a little something.
Oh boy.
So this actually does have to do with professional wrestling. But while I'm bringing up my thing, I feel like you might have had a haiku. Did you have a haiku?
I had a haiku.
Do you still have a haiku?
People ask me, I get a lot, you're so positive. Why are you so positive? How do you keep the positivity going?
Mm-hmm.
And the same hot water that hardens an egg softens a potato. So it's all in perspective. If I was to offer you today $1 million tax-free, would you take it?
Yes.
Yes, you'd take it without a question. You'd say thanks.
Sure would.
What if I said you're not going to wake up tomorrow?
Oh, yeah, no, thank you.
No.
Yeah.
So your life's worth more than $1 million.
It sure is.
So get up tomorrow, look in the mirror, and say, I'm worth $1 million. You'll smile. You'll feel better about yourself. What's going to be worse?
So you and your brother-in-law, you guys must be probably two of the most positive people in Marlborough, because if I can remember, Matt has the posy.
Posy, yep.
Right?
Yep, keeping it posy.
Keeping it posy.
Oh, yes.
So, yeah, I love that. You guys definitely need to just keep sprinkling that around the community.
Oh, yeah.
So, are you ready?
I'm ready.
This is Name the Wrestler by.
Oh.
I'm gonna zoom in on either a part of their outfit, an accessory, or a feature.
Okay.
And so then you have to tell me. And now, so I'm more from like the WWF days. So these are older, but hey, we're a little older. So they might not be able to see this on the camera, but they're going to get their
Ultimate
own.
Warrior.
Yes. See, we ease in. So that
they get tougher?
We ease. Well, I don't know. It depends.
Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Yes. He was one of my favorites.
Oh.
Yeah, that's right. All right, another one of my favorites.
Coco Beware.
Yeah.
Parents named Frankie.
And we gotta.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no. You just answered the bonus question. That was going to be at the end. It was, what is the name of Coco Beware's bird? All right, shut the front door. There we go.
Boom.
All right.
So, funny story about the wrestling. When we were at the debate, never been to a debate before, don't know what's going on.
That was my first one too.
I set up, everybody's got note cards and everything. I've got nothing, zero. Bob Gustafson looks over at me and he's very serious and he's, my name's Bob, I'll be asking you the first question. And I looked at him and I said, make it an 80s wrestling question and we'll be friends. And he started laughing. It was right before we went on the air.
So do you know Bob though from?
No,
oh, okay.
I just met him that day.
Because his brother Matt, who we call Boomer, was in me and Janice's grade.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
See, it continues.
So it so does. So this one, you're gonna get this. So
Jake the Snake.
See, I didn't realize just how well you knew your professional wrestling.
Yeah. Snake's name is Damien. Is that a bonus?
No, it was not. But
George the Animal Steel.
All right. So we've got, George the Animal Steel. And this is just going to be a gimme because now I just know how talented you are.
Roddy Piper.
Rowdy Roddy Piper. Hot Rod.
Yes.
Yep. So now I'm going to have a new bonus question.
Okay.
Because this is like you need to be in my head to get. So I actually, out of that list of 6 wrestlers, one of them was my favorite growing up. Like I still have the figurine and everything. One of them, who do you think out of that list of 6 was my favorite?
Coco Buick.
Nope.
No. Ultimate Warrior?
No.
Really?
No.
Was it Piper?
No.
Wow. George the Animal Steel?
Yes.
Get out of here.
Yes.
Remember he used to eat turnbuckles?
Yeah.
He'd rip them up.
And then you see the fluff.
Yes.
Yep.
Wrestled at Marlborough High.
No kidding.
Yes. George Steele, Pedro Morales, the Iron Sheik.
No kidding.
Janice's cousin, Jay Gould, his father, Herbie, you know, he was big into the Marlboro sports. And they used to let him like carry the ring attire back. He had Honky Tonk Man, Fred Blassie they met. But yeah, all the wrestlers used to come to Marlboro High, years ago, probably like 82, 83, I want to say.
Okay.
Right at the Marlboro High Fieldhouse. Big guys. They had a Intercontinental title. Andre the Giant was there once.
No kidding.
They all used to be, way back in the day.
All right, now I wish I tried harder for some like different ones, because I was thinking like Ravishing Rick Rude,
Oh, yes.
Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man.
Yeah.
Like there were a bunch I was considering, but I know now you would have gotten them all.
Yes, 100%.
So this was a really fun interview.
Yes,
I gotta thank you for coming in and
Absolutely.
agreeing to do this.
So much
and
fun.
sharing your memories.
Yeah.
And I hope that some of your memories spark memories for other people. And yeah, and we post this everywhere. So I have my own Facebook page for it, Downtown with Teona Brown. WMCT has their own Facebook page. It's all posted to YouTube for watching on demand. So if anybody has anything they want to ask questions about, you want to add on to any of these memories or stories, if you know how maybe Mike got his nickname, if it's appropriate, go right ahead and put it in there. So yeah, I would love people to come on and, you know, be a part of this thing that is Downtown with Teona Brown. It's just something casual and just something else to bring the community together.
Yeah.
So thank you again.
You're welcome.
I hope everyone has a great time watching, and tune in again. We'll see you soon. Thank you.